All right, so we're gonna do some work with performers and envelopes and LFOs in this video. We're gonna go over here, we're gonna go to Gorilla, and we're gonna put it down to the very zero, just so you can like get a good feeling on how these things work and stuff. This top line shows you how many measures the performer is going to be turned on for. So we're going to go down here and drag this to one measure, or to the number 2, which is going to be from the start of measure 1 to the end of measure 1, which will start at 2. And these over here are what time you should be in, either 3/4, 4/4, 5/4, 7/4, 6/8, just some a variety of times that are popular. I always use 4/4, so I'm probably always going to leave it there. And then you can change what note sections they're in. So see how it changes the divisions based on what note you're using. So we're going to stay in quarter notes for this one. And these are the different things that you can go. You can do freeform, where you just kind of right click a note. And you can go however you want. And then you can initialize it and bring it back to 0. So everything is back to fresh. This one, you kind of just hold it and it just goes from each division to where you want to do it. So that's another way to do it. And then these are plateaus. You can just change that for all this stuff. And then you got ramps that go down, ramps that go up, and you got sine waves and triangles waves. So real simple stuff to do all that stuff. To put a modulation source in, you just click this little cursor here, and you can literally modulate almost anything. You can just see all these little white boxes that appear. So here we're going to modulate this gorilla guy over here, and you just place it down, and then you go as far as you want to go, right? And so that's really that simple. Another thing you can do is you can click these 9 boxes right here, and you can change some settings, and it kind of like you can change how long or which measures you're using. So these ones are 1, 2, 3, and then you got a ton more that all use the same performers, but you can kind of change them up. And so here we go. We're going to launch it to key in one shot. So that means we're going to loop it, but it's only going to launch on key. So when we play a note, then it'll play. See how it starts at 0? Perfect. Right? And that's how performers work. You can change this stuff all you want, but that's the basics of it. Just remember this initialize thing, because it's really ignoring going into and deleting each point individually. And if you have tons of points from like going into 30-second mode and you're like this and you just have 1,000,000 points, it's just better just to initialize it and go back to 0. There's a way to select them, but I don't remember how to do that. And yeah, so that's performers. Yeah, pretty simple. And then let's go to envelopes. So here we're going to have our amp envelope, E1. That's always going to just be the amp one. You can't change it. That's just the straight up sound, right? So here we got our sound. And we take out the sustain, and now it's a little pluck. You got the decay. And then here we got some, what is that? Attack, decay, sustain, and I don't remember what it's called for some reason, but you got your release time. There we go, release, sorry. And then you got the attack, kind of slowly come up and then go down, all that stuff. The shape kind of turns it into you can see over here in the exciter envelope, if you change the shape, it'll just change this guy right here into different ways, and then it shows you everything it does, right? So you got the release, the sustain, the shape will just make it like a sloped function, stuff like that, and then your hold will just hold it out. It's pretty cool. And that's your amp envelope, just you only have one. And then you have a modulation envelope. This is to modulate different things. So we're going to go in here and we're going to modulate this frequency just to open up. And something cool to think about when you want to modulate something is think about your goal in the beginning. So my goal is going to be I want to slowly open up this. All right, so we're going to go all the way to the top. And then what I want is I want it to just go right back down. So we're just going to take the sustain and the decay all the way down, and we're going to raise the attack a little bit. And it should do exactly what I want it to do. But it's going too slow, or too fast. Our decay here is too loud. Actually, go down to 0, put it all the way up, and then change the sustain all the way up. Perfect. Perfect. So, you know, we got exactly what we wanted to do. We're going to put some resonance on there. And then maybe we want to go back down. Perfect, you know? So you just think about what you want to do, and you do it. And that's how the modulation works. You just think about it. You know, your attack just raises it up, goes all the way up. You can hold so it stays there for a little bit, and then you can decay, and it'll just go right back down. So it has all those little options for you, and you can modulate anything. Then you got this exciter envelope. Oh, and by the way, this just controls like the same thing and stuff like that. And you can use velocity and as a slope function. So like what button you press, how hard changes things. But you don't have to worry about that too much. And then the exciter envelope could change the shape, but it typically does like the same thing, but it goes down too. So it's kind of like more like an LFO, but it's not looped or anything like that. And so here we'll use the exciter envelope on this now. And it's just going way too fast. But remember, it starts in the middle. So it's a big thing to know, is it starts in the middle. Doesn't really sound like it's changing. But whatever, you get it. So this one you should look a little bit more into. So you can change all of these into anything except for E1. So everything you can change to an LFO if you want to. So we're going to go to E3 and we're just going to change it to a switcher. Automatically changes the color to green, and we're going to go over here and we're just going to put it into a sine wave, so it's just going to open up, you know, basic like stuff like that. And then you have this really cool function right here, which means it'll start without the LFO and slowly turn into at the peak of the LFO, so now you can hear it a lot. Quiet, and slowly it comes in. Really cool. And this is the same thing, but it's the opposite. It just starts at max, and then it goes down into just the normal thing without the LFO. And this just starts really loud and stays really loud all the time. Right? So easy. And then you have these different functions of LFO that just sound different, you know? You can see kind of like how their shapes are. And this is a random one. And that's everything to do with LFOs too. So you got the LFOs, the random one, which just randomates it and stuff like that. You can add jitter. So you just kind of does random shit. And these are just all with little platforms. So it's either 1 or it's -1. You can do some pretty cool stuff. I can already tell. This is going to be sick. Alright, and so those are LFOs, envelopes, and performers. They're just basics, you know. Of course, you got more stuff to do and all that stuff. You got the sync button. You can figure all that stuff out, though, you know. Like, I have faith in you guys.